Welcome to Crime Vault, Part 2. Chris Watts. Why did he kill his family? Is the other woman the reason for him murdering his wife and children? Thank you for joining me.
I'm just looking at everything in your phone.
In a way, she's almost a younger, more vibrant version of Shanann.
As soon as he met Nicole Kessinger, Chris wanted out.
She knew that he would always choose her.
That tells you everything you need to know about Chris Watts, is that he didn't know what it felt like to love someone.
This is my flesh and blood. This is like what I wanted all my life. My name is Chris Watts. I'm doing my speech on relationship deterioration and repair.
2012 presentation on YouTube about relationships. 6 years later, he had an affair with
Nicole
Nicole.
Kessinger is one of Chris Watts' co-workers in Weld County. When she first meets Chris, she's under the impression that he's just a young bachelor who's looking for love.
Good guys are difficult to find, especially when you're in your 30s and you're not married yet. And here he was right here in her office.
Sometimes when you get married, that the lust and the desire kind of falls by the wayside a little bit. You no longer experience closeness, and you feel you might be better with someone else that you've met.
Chris ends up telling her, I am married right now, and I do have 2 young daughters at home.
I think Nicole Kessinger saw in Chris exactly what the world saw in Chris. He was an all-around nice guy, or that was the mask that he portrayed.
All of Chris's friends described him as a laid-back person, but very self-contained. Nobody felt like they really knew him.
So pink means...
That's just the test.
I know. They just said the pink is going to be girls.
I don't know.
May 29, 2018, he finds out he's having another baby. 14 days later, he's entwined with Miss Kessinger.
To Chris Watts, Nicole Kessinger was a breath of fresh air. She was not Shanann. She wasn't the wife. She wasn't the mother. She had nothing tying her down. She was different.
He was sort of in these routines with Shanann and the girls that had become, monotonous. Nikki Kessinger was listening to him and respecting him in a way that he had never felt before. I think at that point, it was an easy decision for him to start an affair.
June 14, 2018, he puts her phone
They're
number
texting
in his
almost
phone.
nonstop, even though he's at home with his wife and his children. Shanann has no clue what's going on behind her back.
June 27, 2018, Cheyenne flies to North Carolina with the children. He stays behind.
Shanann goes away thinking that this is a way to reset the relationship, not knowing that it was actually igniting and fueling the relationship that Chris has with Nicole.
The perfect storm of factors that the affair began when Shanann and the girls left for the summer for 6 weeks.
Chris is taking Nicole out on dates. This is his opportunity to fully date without any eyes watching him.
Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts had a dating life that was probably something like, 20-somethings would do.
Yeah, intoxication of affair is a very, very powerful drug. Sex is a powerful drug.
Chris is taking illicit photos of Nicole and saving them to his phone in a secret app.
He was able to do all these things that he wasn't able to do because he had children and he had a family and he had responsibilities.
And he's willing to do whatever it takes to continue to explore this relationship.
Everything was sunshine and roses, and I can't wait to see you again, and I'm addicted to you, and everything a young suitor would say to a woman when he first starts dating her.
In the height of his passion for Nikki, he Googled, what does it feel like when someone says, I love you? And I think that tells you everything you need to know about Chris Watts and his attachments, is that he didn't know what it felt like to love someone.
Shanann is in North Carolina with Bella and Cece. Multiple times she's trying to reach Chris. She's calling, she's texting him, and many of the times he's not responding at all or as quickly as he normally would. That's when Shanann starts to realize something's off here. There's something else going on.
July 31st, 2018, he joins the family.
Chris shows up and he's pretty distant.
Deletes
to
Nicole's
Shanann.
information out of his phone.
North Carolina, Chris was on his phone a lot.
Shanann was starting to question why he was being so distant.
Who are you texting? Because it was a big, huge red flag.
She's texting her friends saying he's not only being weird when he was at home, but now Chris isn't even being physically close to me, even though we've been apart for so long.
Support each other, positive evaluations, positive feelings. Always disclose your feelings, as I said.
August 7th, 2018, they return to Colorado, the family.
It's time to return to regular life. Shanann set up a gender reveal party where friends, family, neighbors were to come and find out that they were going to be having this baby boy. But she's starting to realize something's going wrong here. This is supposed to be an incredibly happy time for both of them.
He changed his mind about the babies. All of a sudden, he sort of had this new interest. His mind was with another woman.
She's suspecting that maybe he's cheating on her.
August 8th, 2018, she cancels the gender
You
reveal
have to ask
party.
yourself 3 questions when you're in a relationship. Do I have a desire to keep this relationship going? Do I have a moral obligation to stay in this relationship? Or is it a necessity for me to stay in this relationship?
Shortly after Shanann cancels the gender reveal party, she goes on a business trip to Arizona. They go out to a restaurant. Chris
August 11,
dines
2018,
Nicole, but then
goes on a
realizes
date.
he doesn't have any way to pay for the meal other than with the credit card he shares with Shanann.
Shanann receives a notification about a credit card that Chris had used at the Lazy Dog restaurant that exceeded the amount of money that a normal person would use on his own meal.
And she's thinking there's no way that one person ate and drank $60 worth of food. That was the first moment Shanann felt like she had proof something else was going on.
August 13th, 2018, she returns to Colorado at 1:25
The
a.m.
marriage was in trouble. She sent Chris a self-help book. She wanted to go to counseling. Whereas Chris's solution for dealing with the problem was to plot murder.
Relationships are hard, but they're worth it in the end. And as the Swedish proverb says, a double joy is a shared joy, and a double sorrow is not a shared sorrow. Thank you.
1:48, she's dropped off at home by her friend.
It's early in the morning when her
AM.
friend Nicole Atkinson drops her off at her home. Nicole Atkinson was under the impression that she was taking Shanann home to a place that should be a place of comfort, a place of security. There's no way she could have known that she was actually dropping her off to her final moments on Earth.
This is the last time Cheyenne is seen alive going into this house, this video, outside of the home.
Calling because I'm concerned about a friend of mine. Nicole will have an officer come out that way as soon as we can.
They're looking around, they go upstairs. There's no sign of Shanann or the girls.
I believe he thought that we would believe him.
You're afraid people think you made it.
What happened? Was this woman the reason for killing his family? Did she have any involvement? Did she have knowledge? She Googled dresses, wedding dresses, having an affair with a married man. Was she just curious of what information she would find out, Miss Nicole? How does she feel now knowing she had been sleeping with a murderer? When did he know he was going to kill his family? Was it before the wife went to North Carolina with the children? Or was it while she was gone and he was taking up with this woman? He realized he no longer wanted to be a father or a husband, And he checked out mentally, or had he checked out before the trip to North Carolina by Cheyenne and the girls? And did he know when she returned that fateful morning that he was going to kill her and the girls? Did he kill the girls at home? Or the second version, the mother was already dead when he put her into the truck and he killed the girls after the fact? So you don't know because he's a pathological liar. How does this woman feel knowing she has slumbered with a murderer? What is he? Sociopath, psychopath? Does he have any remorse for killing his family? If he could do it all over again, would he have married her? Would he have killed her and the children? Would he have taken up with this woman? What was he looking for, searching for in this relationship with Nicole? Because what you have to tell yourself is the ultimate question. If he did it to Cheyenne, he possibly would have done it to Nicole. What would have been the difference? Checking out is checking out. You see, they're just faces. Faces with names, of course, but just faces. Because if you can check out once, you can check out again. Something doesn't go right in a relationship, you can think of murder again. And I think he would have done this had he not been married to Cheyenne. Whomever he would have married. Things didn't go the way he had planned, suspected. He would have checked out, asked to save face and not be an embarrassment to his friends, family. Since his wife stayed on social media, he didn't want people to know that they didn't work out. Same thing with this Nicole. He would have took up with somebody else. Somebody else would have winked, said hello, or he would have fancied somebody, and I believe the result would have been the same. You're entitled to your opinion of why Chris Watts killed his family, but I believe he was diabolical from the jump. He hid who he was. He wore a mask. He pretended to be human. He pretended to have empathy, to care, but he has never cared. And I believe somebody knows the truth to who he really is. Somebody saw the signs many moons ago, but they ignored them. And possibly his family, because who better knows you than your family? Maybe they ignored the signs. This is sad and sickening that he would snuff out an entire family to allegedly be with a woman. And he did not plan this crime well. Neighbor had a camera, GPS on the car. No way he could have thought he was going to get away with it. So why did he walk into that interview room knowing he was already seen on the camera backing his SUV into the garage? No signs of cars coming or going, or anyone going in the house, or the wife leaving the house with the children. But yet he still went into that interview room. And the agent told him, you'd have to be dumb to come in here, knowing he would fake the polygraph. Flunk it, rather. So why did he take the polygraph when he was already seen on the camera backing his truck and leaving at 4 a.m. in the morning and nobody coming or going in or out of his house? Was this the narcissist saying, I can still beat everybody? Thank you for joining me. This is Crime Vault, Part 2. Chris Watts. Why did he kill his family? Was it because of Nicole? He wanted to be with her, and this was his only way out, his only answer, so he thought. But now, who's the biggest loser? He's incarcerated, never to get out, die in prison, and the mistress is on somewhere else in the world. And a woman and children are dead. Crime Vault. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to the channel, $BigAngie, 129 Cash App. You don't know people. And sadly, this woman lost her life, she and her children, to a demon seed, spawn. Who is Chris Watts? Does he have remorse? Does he have remorse?